All right. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, I'm running a second late. I know I got live on time, but my computer's not set up. Anyways, how's everybody doing tonight? Hi, I'm Chloe, and this is Night Right. Let's see. There we go. That's how I wanted this to be set up. Hey, Melanie, thank you for joining. Yes, yeah, working does put a big drag on the streams you can go to. I remember those days. So tonight I am working on my demon romance. I am on the last few scenes of it. I would like to finish tonight. I don't know if I'm going to get there or not. I did just drink a soda in hopes of motivating myself. I'm also not anywhere near that goal of 35K, and I don't think I ever will be. I'm at 47. I'll be lucky to hit 45, but that's me. That's what I do. I try my best. Doesn't always work. Let me know what y'all are working on. God damn it, I just lost my place. Okay, I believe that is where I was. So Melanie, oh God, my mouse is also freaking out. Holy crap, stop. I guess it's just going to be one of those nights, right? So Melanie is finishing up a beta reading project for a fellow author tuber that is fantastic, and is scraping the one short story per month project for the year. Just hasn't been a priority. Yeah, I always have these ideas in my head to do projects like that, and I have all these other things. I've got all of these like little projects that, are currently going, and, that like books are already published and I need to get them done. And then I've got like these big projects that there's a series that I have out that somebody just asked me when the next book is coming out. I'm like, geez, I haven't even scheduled that for this year. I try not to have a release like that. I try to put books out fairly rapidly, but it's this series, it never really did anything. So I wasn't expecting anybody to be like, hey, when's that book coming out? Like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I've got all of these. Oh, Melanie loves the idea she came up with for a January story, but it might be better as a novel instead of a short. That project that I just mentioned that I don't know when I'm going to get to the third book for, if ever, that one was started as like a fluff piece for an erotic romance community that was meant to be like 10,000. And then everybody's like, what happens next? And now the damn thing is like a 4-book story that 2 of them are done and published, and haven't even considered the third one yet. But yeah, so I get it. And honestly, like I like this one was weird because things were strange with it, but and this like it doesn't really fit in. It doesn't have a strong category to it. Like it doesn't have a strong genre. It's not written to market because that wasn't a goal when I was doing it. So, it's not something I can really put a lot of effort into. But the people spoke up. But yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, like I do like where the story ended up going because I kept writing it. It's insane. Partially because I had no plans of continuing it. And then as I kept going, I was like, this is ridiculous. Everybody's going to start hating it soon. And then everybody's like, no, I need more. So anyways, let's go ahead and get our first sprint going. It is going to be a 10-minute sprint, and then we'll probably be doing 20s after that. If I can just get that bar up. Everything's fighting me today. That's okay. All right. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. All right, that was time. And I was not expecting to walk into a shit show on that, but I certainly did. I finished up the scene that I had just like a couple lines for, and then I jumped to the next scene, and I couldn't tell whose perspective it was coming from. This is not a normal problem for me, and it was really weird. I don't know how I screwed up the beginning of that chapter so badly. And now that I'm looking at the fix, I don't think I fixed it. Because now the chapter is starting with a whole bunch of dialogue and no internal thoughts. But I guess it's better than the like vaguely head hopping that I was doing. So I don't know. So apparently we're in Mercury retrograde. And if that is why my technology is being screwy, then I accept that. Whoops. Jumped. Hey, Jackie, thanks for joining. New semester. Good luck on your homework. I'm curious about where you're doing homework for. I like to know what everybody's learning. And hey, oh God, I keep jumping. Sorry. Hey, Greg, it's not like I got a wall of messages here either to go through. So I don't know why I'm jumping so bad, but hey, Greg. And Melanie finished reading chapter 9, and I'm almost on with chapter 10, or in the middle of chapter 10. There's only 11 chapters total. Fantastic. That is good progress. And I get it. Greg is still not in the zone to write. Don't even have the file open. You should get the file open. Like, whether you write or not, yeah, but if that file is open, it is a bit of encouragement. That is what I have to say on that. Yeah. Oh, look at, where is he? What side is he on? That potato. Oh my God, it's both of them. Do you see how cute this is? That's both of them. That's two cats right there. This is like peak adorable. What's happening directly behind me. So this is what I'm living for. Okay, so Jackie is taking a fiction class, but also she's reading for fiction and also for law and ethics of media class. Awesome. That sounds like it would be interesting. Apparently, let's see, Melanie is more focused / distracted. Yes, I read that backwards. That's okay. On the story than I thought, because I read that as Greg not having his life open. You don't need your life open. It's fine. Yeah. Yes, they are cuddly floofers. This is the cutest they have been all day. They've been kind of hellions today. They don't do well with change, and every moment of their lives right now is change. So they've probably exhausted themselves on being upset all day. But there's nothing I can do. Right? Yeah. My life is also up in the air. I also don't have my life open. And I had to drink a soda to just get myself to this today. I was hoping to get a second wind and I never did. So I am on sleepy rambles, but it's okay. I'm going to get this story finished. I have goals. I realized today as I watched my numbers tank because again, my flagship book is a Christmas book, and that doesn't work outside of Christmas. So I watched my sales tank the last 2 days. I'm like, I need to get another book out in a different series. So when this book is done, I'm going to jump back to that Shifter book and hopefully get another edit done. Hopefully fix the beginning. I keep saying that I just need to do it one more time to fix the beginning, and it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to have to get a beta reader this time, even if it's just for like the first 10,000, which beta readers are a good thing. I haven't used them on the rest of this series. It's okay, Melanie. It's I knew this was going to happen. You hope that it doesn't, like maybe people will always want to read this. But yeah, it's seasonal. That's what I was expecting. And yeah, Courtney, you've only missed the first sprint. Hello, Courtney. Thank you for joining. You've only missed the first sprint, and it was just that little 10-minute. So that is perfect timing because it is time for the first 20-minute sprints. So let's get that up here. There we go. I will see you guys in 20 minutes. I swear I hit that mic button, but I guess not. We're back. Let's see. Really quick from before. Courtney had a grand total of 0 words for today. Yes. I thankfully was able to get some work done today, but yesterday I had my morning sprint, and then the entire rest of the day got ruined because I planned to be lazy during the afternoon and then work in the evening. And then Ken ended up coming home instead of going down to his girlfriend. I guess baby mama's. I keep calling her girlfriend, but now she's a baby mama. But yeah, so Ken and I ended up having a night together, which was good. He needed it, and I do need to socialize more than I do, but it ruined. Oh my God, look at him face planted there. Why are they so perfect? Oh, did you see that? Did any of you see him just push her little head like that? Anyways, I'm sorry. They're just like in the worst possible spot, and I am too distracted tonight. But yeah, so I probably, if I had been working like I'm supposed to, I probably would have finished this damn read yesterday and be back onto the shifters, but that's okay. Melanie finished reading chapter 10, so she is 1 chapter left. Fantastic. And Greg got 0 words, but did start to plot what needs to happen in the 3rd chapter, and that is just as important, assuming that you're a plotter. Yeah, they are. They're my precious babies. Oh, I woke them all and they did adorable stretches. Anyways, okay. Courtney got 495. Fantastic. And is going to have to go back to outlining because she has no idea where the story is going. I have been known to outline halfway through a story with the intention of finishing it when I get inspired. And then every single time without fail, I write every single thing up until that point. And then I'm like, damn, I was supposed to plot this. And I never did. I get it. And yes, synchronized stretches. But yeah, so it is what it is. What the hell was I going to talk about today? I had a plan. I did blog today. I didn't actually finish the blog, but I started the blog. This blog was on that romance that I read that was written by a man that I like. I don't know how many books are in the series. There's at least 5. I don't know if there's more than that. I got 76%. Thanks to Amazon for giving that exact number. I got 76% through the 3rd book and was like, no, I'm done. I'm returning this. I hate everything. So I went ahead and started that post today. I don't I'm absolutely not going to assume from this one author that men cannot write romance. I didn't read this for that. I read it because this was something, it had come up in one of my romance groups. Somebody was asking specifically for a romance written by a man. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting because I know, it wasn't something that I really thought about too much. And then one of my friends who is a gay man mentioned that he likes to read the the man on man, the gay man romance that's out there, but it's all, if you know the genre at all, it's written for women by women. And he likes to read it because it's so bad and so inaccurate and offensive, but in a funny way, if you take it in a funny way, because it's so bad. It's so fetishizing what they do. So when somebody said that somebody recommended a couple of these male romance authors, I thought, well, I'm going to give this a try because I would like my male characters to be more accurate. There's only so much I do. thankfully, I have a lot of men in my life who are absolutely fine with answering any question I throw at them. But, I thought it would be nice to get the perspective of a man written by a man, like in that setting. And then this book was awful. It was such an offensive. The woman, like, she was written so offensively. And I don't like, I'm not saying it's because he's a man that he wrote it offensively. Like, I would absolutely have to read more. And certainly I have read romances written by women where the characters are just as much of train wrecks, I think. It's really funny once you get that perspective in your brain. It's kind of hard to figure out if you're skewing and like if you are deliberately saying things are happening because it's a man, or things are not happening, or like giving the benefit of the doubt because whatever. But like, I don't know, that everything was bad. And then there ended up being like a bunch of really weird plot holes. But a lot of it just kept going back to the fact that the woman in the story just made no goddamn sense whatsoever. And I finally hit my breaking point on it at 76% into the third book. So I'm blogging about that. And doing my best to absolutely not say that I 100% blame it on a man. It's just like, it doesn't help, and when your first contender fails miserably, you don't have as much faith in the other contenders as you would have. So, but yeah, it was an interesting little like thing that I wasn't expecting it to go this way, but if it's giving me blog fodder, then perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and write. We're going to go for another 20 minutes. It is 8:49 in Atlanta, so I will see you guys at 9 past. Okay, that is time. Let me know how y'all did. I got through part of the scene. I didn't get as much as I wanted to. One of my friends texted me saying that she just gave her husband a sad because she mentioned something about kids doing things just because their parents wanted them to do it, and how that's what parents really encourage you to do, is what they want you to do and not what you want to do. And I guess her husband was like, yeah, the only thing I ever did that my parents didn't tell me to do was soccer. And then he realized that his parents were like extremely not encouraging about him doing soccer, like not telling him not to do it, but like didn't, go to games or cheer him on or anything. And that reminded me, I definitely have had a messed up childhood, and that's okay. But like my mother, so my brother was an athlete, and he was also super, super popular. I was more well-rounded. I did do a few athletic things. I played field hockey, and I did a bit of cheerleading when I was younger, but athletics was certainly not a priority to me. And I did a bunch of academic stuff like math team and stuff like that, and science fair and science Olympiad, and also like band and theater. I did a little bit of everything, and my mother did not encourage a single one of those things, to the point where like the one shining grace of it was that like one night a year with my math team, we had like after one of our like biggest meets that parents were invited to come along to, we had a buffet night. We went to Bonanza, I believe was the name of that buffet. I don't know if that was correct. Anyways, thankfully, because my mother refused to do anything with me with my academic stuff, I didn't have her judging me how I ate at a buffet. And as a 15-year-old who just wants to like eat everything because she's not counting calories, and trying to be like super thin, and is I was the goalie on field hockey. Like nobody wanted me to lose weight. I just wanted to eat everything, and of course my mother judged me for that. So haha, mom, I got you on that one. Anyways, yes, congratulations on finishing that read, Melanie. That's interesting that it's a novella, but it's also a cliffhanger. Like, do you know what the deal is with this story? If it's like is it like a 0.5 where that cliffhanger opens it into a bigger series, or, excuse me, the hiccups, or is the whole thing going to be novellas? I'm just curious now. Whoops. Let's see. It was interesting reading the second installment of a trilogy without reading the first before. That's okay. So these are, I should have read that before I posted, or I should have read it before I said all that. Because clearly they are just all novellas. Okay. And yes, I do love beta reading too, as long as like things are solid in it. Yeah, it's weird pulling in a beta reader why am I just slightly blurry? That's so irritating. But it is weird trying to get a beta reader when you're already in on a project. That thing that I got coming up that I'm going to need a beta for at least a little bit of it. It's the fourth book of this series. But the good thing with that is that because it is adult romance, it's not, well, I mean, some adult romance is a single plot through the entire thing, but these are pretty easily standalone. So again, if I just need somebody to read the first 10,000 of it, it's not going to be a disaster that they haven't read the rest of it. So I feel okay with that, but it is like, I always feel weird pulling in a beta reader when some of it's already done, because it can cause problems. Or sometimes it's a really good thing because it's a good way to see if your books do exist as standalones and if you can market them as such. Okay, let's go ahead and do our next sprint. And oh, good. So she picked you specifically because you hadn't read it. Perfect. Okay. We are going to do another 20. It is 9:14, so I will see you guys at 9:34. Go get some work done. Okay, that was time on that sprint. Let me know how you did. I am on my last scene, so it looks like I will be getting this done tonight because we're going to do one more sprint, which is cool because that means I get to go on to my other hell tomorrow. So it is what it is, but again, I've got these two projects that like I desperately need to get these two projects done, and then I'll be on to more fun stuff. Hopefully. We all have our slumps. It's okay. Once these two are done, I do have that French, the 19th century, 18th century, if I can get my numbers right, 18th century French paranormal romance that I need to get done. That actually like ties into my Shifter series. So that, I don't know if I'm going to do that yet or not. It's not an essential. It's not something that is like obvious from the Shifter series that this book is even coming out. It's weird how it ties in. But I have that, or I can go back to my aliens, which I feel like is probably the better way for me to go. Funky Psy popped in. Oh, I had people pop in all over the place at the end of that. So we had Funky Psy show up and is editing their second draft. We have one more sprint to go. So there's still 20 more minutes to work in this show. And Nell did a bit of research for the antagonist and the antagonist's lover. Awesome. Courtney got 1100, crushing it, but wrote your way out of a mess, or actively writing your way out of a mess, depending on how that is met. I love that. Ray, you are not too late to join. We have one more sprint to go. There's not a lot left in the show, but we have just a little tiny bit. We'll see how I do. I was real sleepy before, and I'm starting to perk back up. So, Funky, I might do an extra one. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling at that point. I don't have to be up early for anything tomorrow. My next show is at 10 a.m. tomorrow, which is not super early. So, we'll see. I might get another one out of me. We'll see how I go on the next one. And Greg got 77 words. So that is fantastic. I know that you were plotting before, so I'm glad that you got a little bit of writing in. I am on the final scene of this story. These novels are supposed to be funny, and this one, I was having issues getting the humor in. I say that, I feel like it's there. It's just a different form of humor than I usually do. But the finale of this is throughout the book. One of the characters has been frustrated because she is a human in hell, and they're doing this like all this like ceremonial stuff, but there's no actual ceremony behind it. And she's like, why is there no ceremony here? Gets upset several times at it. So at the very end of it, all of the demons are creating a waypoint, a connection between them and Earth, so that humans and demons can go freely between Earth and hell. There are reasons for it. There's been an apocalypse and all of that. But all of the princes of hell have gathered, and they're like, all right, this is a waypoint. She's like, no, we're not doing it this way. So she makes them get into a circle and put their hands in the middle, do waypoint, just to get it done. So basically, what I'm trying to say, Funky Psy, is that I do humor by writing the dumbest thing imaginable. Like, what is the dumbest thing I have thought of for this moment? That's what we're doing. But that's because I write paranormal. And when you're dealing with, demons or animal shifters or whatever ridiculousness in the paranormal thing, you just have them do the most illogically human things possible. It's a lot harder writing comedy in realism. I get it. When I'm dealing with just humans, when it's not paranormal at all, yeah, it can be a little rough trying to get the humor in, especially because I do tend to write pretty serious topics. I mean, in this book, as much as it's this whole ridiculous list of challenges, where like there is a point where I've got a wrath demon who is having to follow a YouTube hair dyeing tutorial. That is the dumb shit that I write. It's okay. But oh crap, where was I going? Oh, but like the whole subplot is also that wrath demon dealing with his PTSD. So I do always have like some real serious thing going on. That I can levy with comedy pretty well when I'm doing paranormal. It's a little bit harder when I'm writing contemporary. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our next sprint. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm feeling pretty okay right now. So if I am still awake and perky, then we'll go ahead and do another one after this. But we are doing 20 right now, in which I should have this edit done. I'll check back with you guys in 20 minutes. Go get some work done. Okay, that is time on that sprint. I did finish the project I was working on. My goal was to get it under 35,000. It is at 47,034, so not even close, and that goal is never going to happen, but that's okay. I do have a little bit of more work that I can get done tonight, though, so I will do one more sprint. I did have a blog post that I was working on earlier today that I never finished, and it'd be really cool and responsible of me to actually finish the damn blog post before I go to bed. So I will do one more sprint. Let me know how you all did. Let me know if you were productive. Ray was kind of productive. They are unloading some knife blocks. So that is productivity. I don't know if you're selling them or if you are, if you just have extras or what, but either way, it's good to get some stuff done like that. We certainly had that day. Yes, Funky Sigh. I will absolutely be writing that blog post during the next sprint. That is my plan. It's already started. I don't think I'm that far into it, but I should be able to nail out a big chunk of it. And Nell got 521. It is close to finishing a chapter. Fantastic. That is always a good feeling. I like to have those little micro victories of just getting chapters, scenes, whatever done, and knowing that you get to move on to something fresh, even if it's within the same story, but at least it's a new scene. I don't know about everybody else, but new scenes I always feel good at. It's when I'm in the middle of a scene or middle of a chapter that I tend to get sluggish and worried that I'm not going to get it finished, or worried that I am chasing tails or what have you, digging myself holes that I need to get out of. But when the chapter is fresh and new, it's so promising. So, yeah, if you've been on that for 3 days now, it is definitely time to get that wrapped up. So hopefully you'll stick around for this last sprint and be able to get it done then. Also, hopefully you're not like me. I have the worst habit of saying I am almost done with this scene, and then like 1,500 words later, because I'm just went on some ridiculous ramble, and that's when the scene gets done. I try so hard. Obviously, I have an issue with things running longer than I want them to. I usually do get my word counts about where I want them. This book is an exception. This one that I'm working on that was supposed to be a novella, and the first draft ended up being 53,000 words. I thought I was going to be able to cut it down, but I was not able to. I got 6,000, which is... honestly, it is pretty much average for me. Usually I cut about 10%. So I want to feel good about cutting 6,000, but it's really just or 7,000? I cut 7,000, but it's really not that much more than what I would in any other story. But that's okay. I do feel better about where it is now. It's always going to be longer than I wanted it to be. But yeah, I have this really bad habit of when I write, I always pre-write. So I always have every chapter or every scene just at least a couple sentences about it, little plot points that I need to hit, or like little dialogue that I think of, whatever it is that I think needs to go there. And I have that horrific habit of either running them twice as long as they're supposed to be, or actually having to break them up into like 3 scenes for that reason. And usually when I calculate, when I'm guessing what the word count is going to be, I accommodate that. I do have some shorter ones. It works out at the end. But this one, I went in with like 7 steps that the characters needed to go through, and that was way too many steps. to get written out in 35,000. And it looks like everybody has the same problem. So I am not alone in the writer world about it. Courtney's doing it. It's exactly what's happening to Nell. Funky agrees. Nell says, when I edit this, it's going to be shortened so much. No one wants to read a 7,000 word chapter. I agree. I know, like, I'm absolutely the first person in writing groups when somebody asks how long a chapter is. I'm always the first person who's like, it's however long it needs to be. Like, there's no word counts on chapters. It's however long it needs to be. But also, especially with modern day readers, if you look at, books written 100 years ago, they do tend to have gigantic chapters. That's not what we do anymore, and that's not what readers want anymore. Let's see. Funky says, I tried to cut this first novel down to 100 from 125. Got it down now in second draft back up to 127. I've done that one as well, and it is extremely frustrating. But I will say the caveat on that is usually, so like cutting down from 125 to 100 usually is you are cutting out stuff that didn't need to be there, that you realize was unnecessary. For me, a lot of it just comes down to sentence structures, and the sentences themselves are twice as long as they need to be to say the exact same thing. So, and like getting rid of plot lines that weren't progressing the story, didn't have enough to do with it or enough going on with them, tying in properly, whatever, to keep it going. But if you then took 100 and added back 27 and ended up with 127, that 27,000 that you added had to have been necessary. I'm sure that you're going to then in edits cut out a good chunk of that 27 again, just for, sentence structure and everything else. The same reason that you were originally able to cut that 125 to 100. You'll cut, I would say, like, just, by pure math, you're going to cut out like 7,000 of it. But what you've replaced that original 25,000 with, I'm sure is far more valuable than what was there. Yes. And on third draft, you just hatchet it. Absolutely. Okay. So let's go ahead. This is absolutely my last sprint of the night. It is late for me. I have had a long day. Good day though. Back in those of you who have been watching me since October or before then know that I live in Atlanta. We had a hurricane come through. We had a gigantic tree taken down on our lawn that like messed us up for weeks. I didn't have internet for 2.5 weeks. We had a gigantic, it was an oak tree that fell, root ball that's 8 feet across, is still in our yard. And then we've got some like really dangerous trees still around. Because that oak had a pine that was leaning against it. And now there's just this massive pine that doesn't have anything to support it anymore. So we had a bunch of tree. Oh, so you probably remember that storm, because I remember correctly, my friends in South Carolina and North Carolina also got pretty wrecked by that storm. I don't know if she's still in the room, but Courtney is in North Carolina, I believe, if she is. But anyways, we finally, we were told by dozens of tree companies that they could not do anything with that root ball. We've been hacking away at it. And finally, we had a tree guy. Yes, Courtney is still here. Finally, we had a tree guy. We had more estimates this week. And we finally had somebody who can take care of that and also take care of all of these other trees we need to get down. And he is under budget for what our budget was for everything except for that root ball. So literally, as soon as he gave us the number, we were like, yes, you're done. We don't need to talk about this anymore. Come out. He's going to be coming out next Tuesday, and we're going to have all of these gross trees taken down. Yay. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and do our last sprint. Again, I'm going to go words. I'm going to go ahead and go for 20 minutes again. Before I start it, I know it's getting late, so some people are probably going to be leaving soon. I will be back on this channel at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then on my Twitch channel, which is linked below, sometime tomorrow evening. We haven't set an exact time yet, but we're going to be doing the test run of my Bob Ross paint off. It's hopefully going to be a regular series that I do, but tomorrow one of my friends is going to be doing a test run for like tech stuff and all that tomorrow, but we are actually going to do the painting. It's just going to be a little bit more sluggish. There's probably going to be a lot more like weirdness happening on it. But yeah, so that's the plans for tomorrow. 10 a.m. here, sometime tomorrow evening over on my Twitch channel. Let's go. I'll see you guys in 20 minutes. Okay, that is it. Time is up. I wrote a whole bunch on this blog post, and this blog post is going to be insanely long because I didn't get anywhere close to the end of it. I'm still like forming the premise of it. I'm hoping that the people who read my blog just like appreciate. Well, I mean, you guys who are my regular viewers know I do have this tendency to go a really long time to get to the point of a story. I tend to put adventures in everything I say, whether I mean to or not. It's just how I am. I feel like it probably makes me a stronger writer for it. But I hope that the people who read my blog also appreciate that about me. Most of my friends love for me to tell stories. And usually, if we are telling a story that we shared together to a group of people who haven't heard the story, my friends will be like, no, you tell the story because it'll be better if you do. So hopefully people will appreciate this ridiculous thing, how long this is about me ranting about that time that I wrote a romance novel written by a man, which I will say again, in case anybody missed it earlier, I'm not judging men as romance writers based on this one man who is a romance writer, but it was definitely the worst place for me to start if I decide to start reading romances written by men. It was bad. Okay. Anyways, that is it for tonight. Again, I will be back at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow on the YouTube channel, and that will also be on my Twitch channel, as this is also on my Twitch channel. And then tomorrow evening, I'm going to say sometime between 5 and 7, I'm guessing, I will be on my Twitch channel for the prequel to the Bob Ross off. You guys all have a great night, and thanks for joining, and go get some more work done. Bye, everybody.